Now here's the interesting question for you. What makes sane engineers cry over certain records? Just a thought. Anyway, I'm Steve Pendlebury, and this is my vintage radio electronics long stay workshop, and here you are again. And this is a record deck, not a humming record deck actually. I wired it up to this because this needs an amplifier. The difference between a record deck and a record player is the player has the amp built in. This doesn't. This is just a deck, okay? So it has to be amplified. So what I've done, I've wired it to this here, and if I get a record that hopefully that will copyright, like that, and do that, and do that, and do that.
Come from old Bombay, but someone sent me food away below at Mersey.
There you go. That is sort of working, sort of not working. Okay. Why is that? Well, this was sent to me by somebody who said that the problem was that it was not working, and the problem is a very simple one. It's not been cleaned or anything in ages. Now, any record deck like this, if I was to pull the mains from it, like so, and put the record back on, like that, and spin the turntable, it still plays, because a record deck has two functions. One is to keep the turntable going round at the right speed, and the other one is the pickup arm, which goes obviously out. The pickup arm doesn't have any voltage on it. It simply is in this place it's a magnetic cartridge, okay, which in this case is okay, which is why I was willing to try take this one on. Obviously it needs things doing to it, and so you know we will, because that's what we do here. So what we do with it? Well, first of all, we know that it plays okay because it played the record or two, and also we need to think about why this lot isn't working so well here. So the two things, one thing got to worry about here. One of the other things too with this. Now, Philips record deck, does everybody touch these Philips record decks? And that is because they're not everybody's favourite record deck in the world. But they're not that bad if you get in and have a look. They really aren't. Okay? Basically, Philips stuff, generally speaking, it is different, but it's not as bad as people make out. The problem with a lot of these decks, and it's not with this one because it's either been modified before or held straight away, is a lot of Philips record decks have that awful tone arm arrangement with the where you turn the top of the tone arm, switch it from 45 to 78. This one doesn't do that. This one does it in a much more normal sort of a way. So that's something which isn't going to bother us here, which is, you know, nice in a way, because it's easier on the eye and on the engineer as well. Got to be easier on the engineer, hasn't it? And so with them out now, I don't know how this comes apart, and so we'll just have to play it by ear here, because it's one of these. So right, I'll look at how it comes apart, and then I'll come back to you. Easy when you know how. That's a screw on the back that takes off or takes down a panel on the back, and inside there are screws which come out for this, which is the voltage selector, and this, which is that holds things in place. With them out of the way, the cabinet goes over there. Now, Philips record decks are not the same as everything else. Well, we know that. But they're not that bad. They're not that bad. They never were. Basically, they're different. Now, different doesn't mean bad. It can, in some play cases, mean good, quite frankly, because of course this stuff generally, once you understand it, it's fine. But basically, also, the main thing we do with every record deck of this kind is make sure that everything is oiled and greased where it's meant to be oiled and greased and not anywhere else. So it's a different sort of deck, but it's all the same. So I'll go and get me oil and grease, and we'll give it a going over. Now this stuff is extremely good. WD-40, different thing coming, contact cleaner and stuff. But this stuff, it is oil, but it's can spray it in places, and it'll go in, and it'll make sure everything gets penetrated where it's meant to be penetrated. Even things like motor housings and things like that, it will actually give them that extra bit of a thing that they need. Now, obviously here, now that is the speed control, okay? That is just start and stop there. I'll give them a quick spray. There we are. And of course, this is the up and down, which also starts with the same table as well. So it's that's it. So now, with this lot here, it might look straight away to be pretty horrible to deal with, but actually it's not. You just keep your head, and just because makes like BSR and Garrard do it one way, Philips do things their own way, and that's something which have to be well and truly aware of. Okay, very simple arrangement. And most of it actually works extremely well as it is, so you know. Like that, you see. So that goes up like that, and you can start it and stop it, everything else, and it will work fairly well. Now, with any record deck of this kind, any record deck, one thing which you have to worry about more than anything is the stylus arrangement here. Now, this one doesn't have the expensive Philips arrangements here. This has a standard cartridge in it, so it's not got one of those awful things in, which makes it a hell of a lot easier. Most of the problems with these decks come from that, so that's what I get it for. Quite often with those, you can get a replacement, but they're very expensive. More than the deck's worth. I've got to admit to that, you know. So that's something else, okay. Okay. It's something which they do have a bit of an issue with on these, you know. No, what else? Well, first of all, I'm not entirely sure that this is quite right here. It should, I think that should go a little bit further in, so that. So we'll see if it does. If I do that like that, and take this out like that, we should see where it comes to, which is here, like that. And so give that a little spray penetrant, oily effect, and see if that does anything. must admit, by the way, as far as record dates are concerned, don't take what I see as read. Andy, who does record players and stuff, he knows a lot more about record players than I do. Electronically, record players are basically quite simple, but record date wise, it's different to tape recorders, which is my area. So, you know, and he said to me, do a tape recorder, so I'm doing a tape recorder. Oh, nice thing, by the way, there's that there, like on any tape deck, and that shall come out. When it does, this will come off. So if you look here, like I see, there's one of these, and we should be able to get that off. Sometimes things are a bit difficult when I'm back, but I do my best. So I'll take that off, and I'll come back and I'll show you how that works as well. The turntable won't come off actually. I probably haven't got the right tool for that, so we'll come back to that if we need to. But I put a new mat on because the other one came off in 6 pieces. It was solid. This is off a garage, I'm told, but there you go. Anyway, the speed is now correct.
All we had were hand-me-downs.
This is Tom Wakanda, by the way, and it's not got a copyright mark on it anyway, so...
All we had were hand-me-downs, but we would make our way.
And so on and so forth. The next thing with these, of course, is not now going to stop. It should go straight back there like that. And sit down. And off. How about that? That's okay as well. Okay, so we're nearly done with this actually. I do need a spindle for the middle, but you know, it does actually work with what's there. Again, I'll see what I've got for that, if anything.
Why can't you see?
Well, the manual works fine. Like I said, the automatic doesn't because it's not. I've not got the thing for the top. But I haven't yet managed to get my hands on a suitable spindle for it. It works quite well with the screwdriver, but nothing else. So I'm going to still look around for a new screwdriver, a new spindle for it. It's this here. Now the one that was on before is to operate the this lot, which is not going to be used on this one. So I get one of the little ones a bit into too long to put that in. I tried changing turntable actually, but it didn't work. So that wasn't any use to man the beast. So I'll need to find one of those. So Andy at Vintage Record Play Workshop, I'm coming down your way. Now with that in there like that, rather than a screwdriver, it plays rather well.
A girl and kiss a girl were the games we used to play.
This machine, this Philips machine, is now actually got 1 or 2 garage parts in it, but never mind that. The mat's new. That's new. The spindle in the middle is new. But apart from that, it's as it was. So there we are.
Catch a girl and
The record, by the way, doesn't appear to have copyright on it anywhere. So it's Tom O'Connor, singing Liverpool, my Liverpool, where I used to work actually, and it's a wonderful place.
And I'd be gone all day. Catch a girl and kiss a girl were the games we used to play. Home is where I hang my hat, and home is here today. This is why I say Liverpool, oh Liverpool, you're all world to me. In Liverpool, we're one big family.
course it does that and goes back to the stand like that. In it goes, and there we are. There we are. So it's now a working record deck again, put back in service, and maybe play something more copyrightist when it's not on camera. Okay. Anyway, by the way, just to let you know, I've not been around for a bit. I've not been all that well. I've had a UTI. When you consider that I've had a kidney transplant as well, that was quite dangerous. So not being around, that is why. And also, by the way, Andy had got a new channel, Handy Cooks, and also I can't let this pass without saying something rather sad. Andy's dog's Craps died last week. He's 20 years old. Has a good life, but he's now looking down on us from above. So where are Scraps? Have a good time, and see you wait for Andy. And Andy, I hope you're okay. Anyway, until next time, goodbye, God bless, and all the rest of it. And look after yourselves and each other. Bye bye, and take care.